Hello. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us tonight. This is your girl, Marilyn Monroe, and my lovely cousin, Rem.
Good evening.
So, tonight, Rem and I, we actually spoke earlier this week and during a conversation earlier this week, because we grew up in the church, but we spoke and we discussed what then looped into a whole topic of um, Jesus, uh, spiritual warfare. And we felt like it's so necessary for us to really have this conversation and discuss this. Tonight, I have a super dope and amazing friend of mine, a throwback friend of mine, who is a pastor. And yeah, he is going to join us. His name is Kenneth Cheney II, Pastor Kenneth Cheney II from Texas. He's going to join us tonight, and we're going to have a nice conversation regarding spiritual warfare. Y'all ready? Let's go. So, we're going to go ahead and enter Pastor Cheney. Welcome, culture, Pastor Cheney.
Hello, everybody. Hello. What's the
Hello.
culture world? Culture world. Is that how I say it? Shout out
Yes,
to the culture world.
yes, I like
All
that.
right, all right. Culture world. How y'all doing? I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, I feel like we have a real devil that doesn't want us to be faithful, confident, with our right mind, honorable, honest, um, and just overall good and kind as a person. And with that real devil, a lot of us struggle with different things. And a lot of times people are very not certain on whether it's spiritual warfare or mental health or decisions that they've made that, of course, comes around. So it gets tricky because a lot of people just don't connect on exactly what it is. But tonight we're going to talk about the spiritual warfare part and some of those signs, some of those situations. And tonight I would like you, Pastor, to tell us the story you did tell me backstage about, you agreeing to come on tonight. Very last minute.
Oh, okay. Well,
Thank you.
yes, I was at work, saw the flyer. It says spiritual warfare. Immediately caught my attention. Obviously, me and Marilyn Rowe go way back, like really far.
Mhm.
And if you really want to be honest, we met on a platform similar like this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just having the same discussion. So it's kind of interesting that after life got to life and then we was able to come back full circle. Obviously, we stayed in contact socially, but now we're here. But anyway, I saw the spiritual warfare and I said, well, I don't know. It's just spiritual warfare. That was it. It caught my attention. Let me get on. Let me see what they're talking about because I think that is not being discussed enough. I was explaining to my friend that I was talking to my son last night, literally just last night, and I was like, "We're not talking the real talk. It's all about what we're gonna get, what God is going to do, but we're
Yes.
not talking about the real nitty gritty. What is spiritual warfare? Uh, how deep does it go? But catch this: how simple it can be. If I may add, just for to just kind of throw something out there, I was amazed when my wife showed me a TV show, and I say this tastefully, but it was about I think her name is Amy and one name is Tammy.
Mm.
It's called my 1,000 pound sister.
Yes.
Okay, now I want y'all to fasten your seatbelts for what I'm about to say. In my head, wow, I never knew that food can be an addiction.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about just blown away. I'm like,
Absolutely.
wait a minute. Food is actually addiction. There is actually programs. People are having stronghold, spiritual warfare. Some of these people are honestly believing that the food is calling them by their name, saying, come and eat me. But
Yes.
it wasn't until I watched that TV show I had a new, different respect for what strongholds look like. But here's my question: how many times do we aid people in their addiction and we didn't know it
True.
just because it seemed right? What do you mean by that? As a pastor, you got people that love you enough; they'll cook for you, and
Yes.
they'll cook, and they'll cook, and they'll cook. Are you adding? Yeah, talk to me. I'm
True.
throwing it out there. Talk to me. Just
No, that is very, very true. And I'll even take it one deeper. Y'all, look, buckle your second seatbelt. So think about this: the entities that serve us these foods a lot of times are putting chemicals inside of the food, which creates a warfare, a chemical which could be spiritual warfare as well, because they're entering things into the food that make us addicted. So they're actually contributing before it even gets to our kitchen or even to our stove or to our table.
Yes.
That helps to create these strongholds per se. So I think sometimes it starts even before it
Mm-hmm.
gets to us,
Mm-hmm.
which is to me like, whoa, what is really going on in this world? You
Yeah.
know, and also different things that I won't go all the way there, but I'll give a sample. A lot of hormones are pumped into food, so we can kind of connect the dots,
Mm-hmm.
as to why some things are going on in this day and time, because some things that weren't in food 50, 60 years ago, and some things that we are seeing now that we didn't see 50, 60 years ago.
Yes.
So, and I'll leave that open ended.
Yes. Okay, so I have someone from the winning circle. She said, I am a little confused. What is confusing you tonight? We're just getting into just kind of standard conversation to talk about the spiritual warfare, and the many ways that it comes in our lives, and sometimes it's right over our head. We don't even realize.
Mhm.
Um, we think it's just normal, like
Yeah.
they mentioned the food,
Yep.
and just and pastor said gluttony,
Yes.
behind stage, like it says it's Dr. J. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So it's Dr. Joy, the coach. She mentioned she was a little confused. So I really wish she could have came on tonight. But this is, of course, going to be an ongoing conversation because it's necessary. It's necessary for
Absolutely.
culture for us to discuss this. And everyone has different viewpoints. You said tomato, I said tomato, like that type of thing. So we're going to just go ahead and again let's talk about some of the signs of spiritual
Hmm.
warfare.
Hmm.
Of course, we probably can go on all night because with the signs. But some of the signs of spiritual warfare. Oh, she said she is available. Of course.
Yay! Come on
um,
on.
yeah. I'll send the link. Let's see. I'll send the link to her. But some of the signs, confusion and doubt. Confusion and doubt.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, again, we can mix confusion and doubt with a lot of things because sometimes people with mental health issues have confusion and doubt. But that's one of the things: anxiety, depression, fear.
Absolutely.
Um, you know,
right.
the
Yes.
devil loves to,
Yes.
confuse. Let's speed it up a bit. Let's speed it up. I'm about to send Dr. Joy this link, but a lot of times, and I'm learning this now at this big age, a lot of times with spiritual warfare is sometimes I recently posted a post, and I'm gonna go back a bit. I post a post about being cyberbullied, and this is a thing, right? And this person has been bullying, and with that, um, one of my friends responded, I have, some Vaseline and some tennis shoes. Let's fight that. And I responded, no, it's bigger than fighting in that regard, like the physical fight. It's definitely spiritual. It's some expelling of some spirits and demons and some holy oil that's needed. Because sometimes, spiritual warfare is not it's not the person.
Yeah.
it's their spirits and the unsettled and the things that they've been through in their life that's unsettled, that they then want your attention and want you to engage.
Yep.
And then guess what? Tag, you're it.
Yep. Absolutely.
You in turn then open up a portal of a lot of their stuff that they sent to you for you to engage in that. So
Yep.
again, I sent Dr. Joy the link, but you can continue while I send her, make sure she gets it. Rem, what do you think?
No, I think absolutely. I think those entities, as we call them, want to pull you in. They do. They want to pull you into confusion and fear and anxiety and all those things.
Yes.
But when we are in tune, we start to recognize when those things are trying to pull us in, and we resist them. And that a lot of times will anger those entities.
It does.
But again, we do recognize, and we pray, and we do all those things that we need to do to keep ourselves covered from those entities. So yeah.
So I'm gonna tag in with what my sister said. I made the statement last night. I'm gonna stop asking people to pray for me when the prayer that I'm asking is above their prayer grade. Okay, because if I'm dealing with some real serious stuff, I don't need no timid prayer warrior. Because spiritual warfare is most definitely real. And if my sister, real estate, Michelle, it's almost like an army game. If I'm running out of bullets and I say, sister, cover me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the army game. She's engaging the enemy while I hide behind something and able to reload my gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I need somebody that's ready to engage into that spiritual warfare. Because here's the interesting thing. I think spiritual warfare does not get talked about because a lot of people are scared of that word, knowing that it comes along with demonic spirits, the enemy, the devil. Or we'll watch Married to Medicine and swear to God that's okay. But when it comes to real life praying, we'll go fight. We'll put our Vaseline on. But when it's time to really, really fight the enemy, the demonic spirits, we don't know how to do that.
Exactly. We're not,
because we're so scared. And I say this, not Ted, to the next person. I think one of the reasons why is because it's not taught. And one of the issues that I believe, teach me to where I can understand it, not because you want to hear your education talk. Give it to me. So if you got 15 years in demonic spirits warfare, that's fine. But take me back to stage one. Because if I'm not understanding, I need to be able to grab something that when I get through talking to you, I can go and try to start this process, if that makes sense. So teach me where I can get an understanding. All right, next.
So we have the Dr. Joy, the coach, joined us. And this is a super, this topic captured so many people's attention. We have a ton of episodes and conversations that we posted, and a lot of times people gravitate to the junk, the ones where we're just talking about social media, but this particular topic has captured two people very last minute, and I am wanting to hear what the doctor has to say.
Well, I do appreciate you all having me. Thank you so much. Wonderful to meet everyone that's on your panel, and it's always a pleasure, Miss Marilyn Monroe. But I'm confused and let me try to break it down. I am Holy Bible Church of God Pentecostal Holiness. I don't think we get any more spiritual than that. And being raised in that denomination, yes, I was a youth minister, youth as an age, but I've been in this gospel game for years, and I've recently been appointed and ordained as apostle. So I've worked in this industry for a long time on the spiritual side, and where I'm now deconstructing the religious side, because I was raised religious. That's bottom line. You know, we was covered up, all of that good stuff. But what I've learned, and yeah, I can cast out a devil just as I can do it in my sleep. That's the easy part. But what I realize is that how we're classifying it, what is making it a problem. And when we say spiritual warfare, we have to bring ourselves to an ignorant fact of other people don't understand what that looks like. And they're looking at it like the conjuring. They're looking at it like the poltergeist. When you brought out some good points about how anxiety could be considered, but then we also got to take in consideration science versus spirituality too. Because some things are just you. And the devil ain't had nothing to do with it. And we're literally giving credit where credit is not due. Because he doesn't operate in that manner. He has no authority to impart in anybody on any reason. Now, can he be oppressive? Yeah. But no, I think we're giving him too much credit, and it's demeaning our credit and what we can do as those who believe in what Jesus the Christ, because Christ is not his last name, of course, the way he operated, and he gave us power and authority to operate when we've accomplished certain things. And just like I think it's Pastor Channing, when you mentioned about people who are not graduated on the prayer level, as someone who has a heart for people who don't really understand church, you know, that would be a little offensive because we're telling them their prayer is not good enough. But when we can know and we got record that a lad is heard over a person that has experience. And so that's where the hurtful part come in. And that's when I'm saying I'm like a little confused here because it's a great topic, wonderful. But people we want to draw into our Christendom need to understand that we're not being offensive in how we put things, because now I might not let you lay hands on me because laying hands was for promotion. It wasn't for healing and all of the rest of the stuff.
Right.
But I'll take your prayer. That I can drop it off if I don't think it's worth anything, you know, but I would be offended. Me personally, if you say, oh, my prayer is not at that level, says who? The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous. I'm just have to be righteous. According to what the word says, right? So that's where I was saying I was confused at.
So let me respectfully, and I hear you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you the reason why I made that statement. Because if I'm putting something on something, if I'm fighting with something very, very heavy, and I'm putting too much on you, because sometimes we ask for prayer. I've seen people ask for prayer. They want everybody to pray for them, but they don't. I feel like it's kind of what you said. You have the ability to cast it out with your own stuff. I do not believe that I need to. My statement was, I'm not going to come to everybody. I have to watch who I ask pray for me, because I don't need no timid prayer warriors. I don't. I got some issues. And I'm not saying me, shall I say, just directly, but I need some people that I just feel is ready to go to war with me. It's just like a basketball team. I'm going to choose who I feel is going to be able to help me win this game. That's what I'm going to do. There's a difference between the first starting five and then the people that's second string or third string. You're still on the team, but I know what I need right now. Yeah. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab what I feel that I need. So I'm not just going to ask just everybody, because if you're praying for me, you're going to help me anyway if it's real. I'm saying I'm not going to come and just ask anybody for prayer, just like I wouldn't let anybody just necessarily, as you say, pray for me, especially when it comes to the laying on the hands. I cannot do that because I don't know what it is. We're talking about spiritual warfare. If I catch myself slipping and I open up my heart to you because you praying, I'll mess around and catch something. If I'm not careful. So I'm not going to ask everybody to get on this team with me. I just can't, respectfully. I can't.
I understand that, because likewise with Dr. Joy, I grew up holiness. Before I was born, we were holiness because my mom is holiness. And as a consequence, Marilyn Monroe, spent a lot of time with us in holiness. And I've seen some things, even as a young child, where, they would take the kids out of the
Sanctuary.
out of the area
Yeah.
because these things were just too deep. So even though, hey, I could have been 15 praying for that person because I could see some things going on, or 13 praying for that person, but it wasn't the space for that. So I can understand both sides. It's like we don't want to deter people from, if their heart is pure, their intentions are pure, and they really are praying for you. But it depends on what the situation is per se. Whereas, okay, I need my strong, heavy team for this because this is deep. Like we casting out some true demons here. Because I've seen that. I've seen where they are casting them out, and you do not want weak people. And you're not really weak people, but you get what I'm saying. People that can be more vulnerable, so to speak, in that atmosphere, you do want to remove them and just kind of have your stronger first line team per se. So I see both points of what you're saying. Both are valid, and I think they both have their place.
I agree.
Yeah, and I guess, if you definitely are feeling that you're in this fight, and I'm only can speak from my personal experiences, we in Black church entice to fight. Like we're the most fighting church. And it just seems like it's in our churches where we have the biggest struggle. And it's like, me personally, when it comes down to prayer, I would rather have, and again, this is just me, somebody that can just send the word. That's it. Because your heart is positioned enough to where I don't need 15 years of speaking in tongues. I don't need you to have to body slam somebody on the floor, put a white bucket in front of their mouth and make them call Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You can send the word. Like the word said, he sent this word and he healed them. They didn't say they had to get down and dirty the way we make it seem. And I think if we look at spiritual warfare in a different light and not about a battle where you got to pull out a sword, that was David them. But that ain't what Jesus come to do. That's not what he told us to do. So I feel that when we're looking at spiritual warfare, let's classify it the correct way, because I do believe that warfare exists. I won't deny that. But I don't feel that all of it is spiritual. Some things you really cause yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think sometimes with spiritual warfare, and like you said, the being susceptible and open to it being you. Sometimes it's just you. It's just you. But I feel it's so important to also know your Lord and Savior. When you refuse and deny and or pick up, just put it down, pick it up, put it down, you play with it in such a way, you're susceptible to anything. And the disconnect is not identifying with having a regular prayer life. And again, no matter how you live, what you believe in, if you don't have a higher power and you identify with that, if you worship your Crown Vic and you feel like your Crown Vic is just everything and anything, the moments where you're not consistent enough to put the armor on to feel covered, the mental health does also, it becomes an issue. It can become an issue because a lot of times people are not consistent. They're not consistent. They play with God and play with all of this like it's just some type of you can't leave home without it. He'll cover me when I need him to cover me. And that's when it gets tricky, because you're opening yourself to a bunch of things that he's going to allow to play out. He's going to say, look, as long as you don't kill him, go ahead. You bad, you want to do it, I'm going to let you live. I'm going to let you live and learn and know who I am, because I am God. So you're right. A lot of times it's us. It's just us. You have a mental health issue, you ain't taking your medicine. That's you. Don't try to get it confused. But I know a lot of times when we have issues with other people or other things, it's not them. It's not them that you have the issue with. It could possibly be that warfare. And again, if you engage, you take the time to respond, you go the back and forth, that opens you up to then, of course, adopting their stuff. And you don't even know. Right. And then you're battling some of their demons and spirits and things that you don't even, you didn't even look for. So spiritual warfare, I guess we could really do like 15 parts about this, because it's deep. It's really deep. And
Yeah, it's
I really
expanded.
appreciate both coming on. This is great. Like,
Yeah.
this is really great because Dr. Joy, your wife has a whole podcast going on right now. Well, about to.
Yeah. I know. No, and she know anything spiritual like this, that it's gonna catch my eye,
Mhm.
But I also look at the fact of, where we are now in our churchdom and the offenses that come along, and how, and it's just me. I'm noticing that everything is, oh, that's just a demon. You just because you can't explain it, or just because you don't accept it, just because it doesn't resonate with you or the way you was taught, it's a demon. That ain't
That's
always. And I'm like, that ain't no demon. They just they sick. Like, like I was thinking one time, I'm like, oh, I'm depressed, and me and my religious mind, oh, I come against a spirit, and I mean, I was an octopus spirit and this monitoring spirit, and I just needed some vitamin D, and we need to go out into the sun.
I
It
know
was
that's
just that
that
right.
simple.
part.
I know
We
that's
take it,
right.
we take
Yeah.
it too far, and I
Yeah.
think, and to Pastor Channing point, it has to be, and also the real estate, Michelle, it also got to be a point of maturity to where you can decipher where it's
Yeah.
at. I'm not going to go and cast out a spirit that ain't one that ain't invite me, because I don't have to work for free. But then there's like, for like, even with I noticed my daughter is extremely spiritual. And so I monitor as her parent, what she's entertaining, whether she's talking to herself. I need to know what that conversation is about. But
Yes.
it's a way she gets scared at certain things. And I said, okay, now it's time for mama to step in. Because what we're not going to do is torment that one, because that's mine. And it's just a simple thing.
Absolutely.
I don't have to walk up and down, my house with the white sheet. I think we take the theatrical part of it and make it to something it is, when I can
Yes.
simply say, hey, I said leave her alone, and it's gone. And I know that for a fact, because I've learned through maturity to cultivate my words, to cultivate my authority, that I don't have to do all of that. I can sit here
Yes.
quiet and do what I need to do.
Well, Jesus said that in the New Testament. He said
Mhm.
Thank you.
you would speak and
Mhm.
things would change.
That's it.
Your words are definitely powerful. And I also talk to my children about that too. You got to watch what you say about yourself. You got to watch what you say
Everything.
about others. All that, because everything that you comes out of your mouth matters. So it could
Yes.
be blessings, it could be curses. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. And to your point as well, Dr. Joy, I mean, I dealt with depression.
Mm,
I had it when I had, several losses when my
yeah,
husband and I were
yeah.
been some years ago. And one would see it, growing up, that how we grew up, as, oh, it's demonic, it's this, it's that, you hearing stuff is talking to
Hmm.
you. But you know what I needed? A hormone reset, a vacation,
And probably a hug.
And some sleep. And
know,
some
Some
sleep.
I
And
sleep.
some
needed
rest.
all those things. I was going through it. It was very chemical, and that doesn't always equate to spiritual,
It doesn't.
So once I started working on me and I went into therapy and all those things,
Yes.
and yeah.
And
Because we was
So,
those
taught, but
real life things.
we was taught that, especially in
yeah.
them holiness churches.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
were taught to deal with everything on that level, to it made
Yes.
us stupid. And because when we, maybe I'm just only Generation X, because I'm gonna tell my age, but I was that one that said, my mama, I was like, oh, I'm sad. Well, go sad them dishes, go depressed. You didn't even want to deal with what I was dealing with that you caused. And so we go spend time recovering, but we're trying to recover in church, who don't know how to deal with recovery. They
That's
deal
right.
with cover up. And
Yes.
so you're not giving me the tools. You preach to me that how she touched the hem of his garment, but you ain't teach me how she dealt with all of that till she got to the hem of his garment. You
That's
ain't
part.
helping me. You help me cover it up. So I
Mm.
think now that people are breaking down, when we saying it's deconstruction, but we're breaking down what the word really says and who said it. Because you can't tell me God said it when actually Ezekiel said it. Like, let's not do him like that. And understanding how, when we need to insert God, because you're not going to tell me that I was essayed and then tell me to go pray. You can't tell me to do that. You got to help me deal with that. And we
Mhm.
know in those churches, it was covered up. And this is how, and especially it depends on who did it. We're
Yeah.
not even equipped And
Very
this
true.
newer generation is not even equipped to deal with the magnitude of what's causing that person to be. We deal with the symptoms and the surface level, but we are not going farther enough to say, yeah, she needs to go take a yellow pill. She needs to calm down.
Or you need
And
to take
when
a nap. Get some
you
sleep,
need
honey.
you yeah,
Or
because
get
you
or get a hug, right? Get a hug or spend some time with people you love. Get a dog,
Laugh.
something.
go
Laugh.
walk, go on a
Go walk.
vacation.
You know what?
And
You
get
know what's funny?
therapy. Get your
Ride your
therapy.
bike, because that's the one. That's what I would do when I was going through my depression. I rode that depression off.
Yeah.
Rode
Get
my
moving.
bike.
Yes.
I think
I
Pastor
agree.
Chainer was going to say something. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No,
Did
no,
I
Yes.
cut? Okay.
no. I was what I'm hearing is y'all were taught. Y'all were taught. Y'all were trained
Mhm.
to be where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for somebody who's been in law enforcement for over 24 years, trust me, I hear you.
Mm.
I got folks who walked into jail, walked into the police station, fall on the floor, shake like they got the devil in them. Boy, stop and get up. That's
Get up.
anxiety because you know you finna go behind this wall.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree with what Dr. Joy said about you have to place the scripture right. I told the church
Mm-hmm.
last week, I said, I think sometimes people stretch God giving grace, but don't. Let's take the woman that was, y'all already know the story, the woman that was at there thotting and the people that told Jesus, what we gonna do with her? You know, y'all know, y'all already know.
Okay.
And you know, so he kept it playing because he knew if he went left, well, I thought she was this. If he went right, I thought she was this. So he said, "Who without sin cast the first stone?" Okay, you already know the story.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting to me? Okay, if you perfect, then you go ahead and do what you got to do. Now, me being extra, I like the fact that everybody held themselves accountable because I believe we're in a world today. Some people probably still would have thrown the stone, knowing that they got some issues. What is my point? Because after all the stones dropped, y'all know the story. He went to the woman and he said, "What? Go and sin no more." He still addressed the sin. Bringing this back to that spiritual warfare, all I'm saying is if I know that I am dealing with this, or if I'm finna go to war on behalf of somebody, I need some prayer warriors. And I'm asking God to give me the good gift of discernment. Who do I need to get on this team? Because I don't know if y'all seen that movie. It was the movie where Monique was in it, about the scary
Mhm.
house, the black. It was
Yes.
all black scary movie. But it's
Yes.
one thing I remember, and Dr. Joe, I just feel like you're gonna be able to say, "I remember what you're talking about." It was the prophet, the evangelist that went
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
to the house. Watch this. Number one, I thought she went by herself. Like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I would have took me a team. And then right before she lost the battle, what did she tell her? She said, "I got scared.
Yep. Yep.
Don't get scared. I lost my faith. I lost my way." Dr. Joy, last night I talked about Bible study. Put some faith where your mouth is, because we
Mm-hmm.
talking.
Right.
But is our faith adding up to where it's at? Yes,
Mhm.
there's a whole lot of things that's not being taught correctly, but I'm trying to really go here and let's have these conversations like this. But guess what, Dr. Joy? I gotta come from beginner, because just because a person is 50 years old or 56 years old and they've been to church all their life, guess what? I'm learning that they wasn't listening as much as they needed to be.
Well,
Or
that's
they
because
didn't
they
do
was,
the
yeah,
extra
you're
to
right.
study themselves to show
You're right.
thyself
That
approved.
part. They was
So
listening.
therefore, I just can't, I hear you, I just
Mhm.
can't grab that. I
Mhm.
need some people. When we do altar call, I need only the true people that believe in the power of prayer to stand up, because every time we open up that altar, we are dealing with spiritual warfare. That means turn the cameras off. We're not recording none of this. We are literally finna go. I take the back seat so God can take the front.
Mm.
You go ahead and do what you need to do. And we're going to open up this part of service even more for God to have his way, because people are coming with drug addiction, pride addiction, sex, low self-esteem, a whole bunch of stuff. Now, you're right, Dr. Joy. Some of these people are saying it's the devil. Trust me, I see it for a limit. The devil made me, so the devil made you do it. Okay. So if you understand that the devil made you do it, why didn't you stop if you knew what was going on?
Because he tells us to resist.
Mm-hmm.
And
And so
what
that
would
means
happen?
and he will flee because he gives
Okay.
you enough
right.
power. And I think people don't understand their power. And see, when I started, I was the one they called to come and clear the house. I was the one they called for the warfare because it didn't take me long to get there. And but what I learned is that I opened myself up to fights that wasn't even mine. And that's why I say until I'm invited, no, I'm not coming to bother it. If it ain't
Yes.
bothering me, I ain't bothering it. I ain't going looking for it. But in the same sense, I also know where to put it. Like if you say somebody came in there and it was one of the things you called out, they got alcohol problem. Just use that as an example. Prayer ain't gonna get that. No, I'm gonna stay as your covering, your leader, or as your friend. We're going to make sure that you develop a prayer life, but prayer is not gonna make them stop. What's gonna make them
Right.
stop is them understanding the value in their life to make them stop. Then we can work on giving them a a cushion of religion or a cushion of spirituality to help them. But I can't pray the alcohol out your system. That
Nope.
is not how that works.
Because
Your
even
taste buds.
the 12
Mhm.
steps, the 12 steps, I mean, God is not first. It's acknowledging the issue.
Thank you.
So it starts
And
from you. Absolutely. We have
exactly.
the power. We like you said, Dr. Joy and Pastor, we give the devil too much credit.
Too much credit. Because if
Mhm.
you
It's
hungry, I
crazy.
can't pray. If you hungry, let me feed you. And then by me doing that, makes you acknowledge the good
Absolutely.
in me. And then you will ask me, do you go to
Absolutely.
church? I
Yep.
do. Why don't you come with
Absolutely.
me?
Yep.
Because
Absolutely.
I'm hungry right now. I don't need your
Yeah.
prayer. I'm hungry. Go get me a
Yeah.
Yes.
sandwich.
That's what I
Yes.
say. I say
Mm.
my life, if my life isn't a reflection of God, then what is it for?
And
Yep.
then
Like
what is that
it's not supposed to
reflection?
just be in the four walls
Thank
or any
you.
of that. As a matter of fact, I'm a church baby again, but I don't go to church all the time. But I
Hmm.
do go to church all the time because church to me is my way. Church is when I walk, when I go lay out on the beach, when I help others, when I see a need, when I donate. All those things
Mhm.
to me are that is with Jesus. Jesus was in the streets
Yes, he
doing the
was.
work.
Hmm.
And I
Yes, he
feel
was.
like if people can see that in you, then you are doing the work, regardless
Yep.
if you go to church every Sunday or not. That to me, that's a personal choice. Some people need that,
Hmm.
and that's perfectly fine. And some people don't desire it. And to me, that's perfectly fine too, as long as you are still doing, in my opinion, the work. So,
Absolutely.
and
Church has scared
some
people
people,
away.
they do. And some people,
Mhm.
even traditional people that I've known all my life that are bishops and apostles and all those titles, they may see it differently, but I don't, because I know a lot of those folks that have those titles are not doing the work for real.
At
They're
all.
doing the show.
The title,
Um,
not the work.
yeah, they're doing the show on Sundays or whatever day the church is open, but I know the real deal. You know what I
Right. But
mean?
see, you're absolutely right. But one thing that when we realize that the Bible says pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this to
Yeah.
visit the fatherless and
Hmm.
the
Mhm.
widows in
Yes.
their affliction and to
That's
Yes.
keep
right.
himself unspotted from
Yes.
the world. That didn't
Yes.
say go to church. What
Yes.
that said is for you to do an act of service to those that
Absolutely.
are considered less fortunate.
Absolutely.
That's
Now,
right.
when it
Absolutely.
comes down to church, now trust me, I love a good jump. Now, I love
Yeah.
a good run in the road because if I do go to a four wall, I need to hear that hammer, and I just want to. That's what I go there for because I
Yeah.
don't forsake not the
Right.
assembling of myself.
Absolutely.
However, the church has stained itself because we force the church on people.
We
Hmm.
do.
We was grandfathered into this. Who said I
Yeah.
wanted it from the beginning? I was
Yeah.
grandfathered into this
Yeah.
church. But we have made the church such a construct that it's just us. We're the only ones that's going to make it in. We're the only ones doing this. So and it wasn't never meant. You supposed to go out. Let me
Yeah.
equip you to here so that you can go out to do what you need to do. But the church made us think it's here. That's why
Yeah.
them people that was
These
waiting for
people,
the
yep.
rapture yesterday is still waiting. And I'm sitting there like I clocked in, and y'all waiting for the rapture because y'all didn't choose to believe
Oh my
and
gosh.
read this out.
It's all
Yeah,
over
that was
social
bad.
media.
That's
Like the
bad.
rapture, they've been posting this. I've never seen it
It's
so
a
much.
rapture every few years,
They
right?
said
It's
they said Jesus been coming back since I was like in my early
Yeah.
toddler
Yeah.
years. He ain't came back in 47 years. I
It's
just
just
keep
it's
waiting.
misinformation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
it's
It's mis-
insane.
and I watched something, a video, forget what I was looking at. I'm always looking at something. Nevertheless, it was showing like if I stand up, y'all gonna stand up. Like if I keep doing this,
Conformity.
you're not
I saw
Conformity.
that.
doing this, and you're gonna do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If I start running, y'all are gonna start running.
It's the
It's like something in the human human
It's
species.
the way we're indoctrinated
Yeah.
from. Let's go back to when Christianity was introduced during slavery. Because if I tell you how to think, you're not going to question it. And that's the way.
Yep.
So when people start questioning it, then all of a sudden, oh my God, you're not God. You got the devil. You know, I can read just like the pastor said. I got to study to show myself approved.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, if I, just like you said, real estate Michelle, if you stand up, I stand up. That's the people that listen but don't go and study on their own.
That's it.
Because for years, and I'm gonna throw this one at you real quick. For years, I thought Malachi 3 was talking about me. Talking about will a man rob God? Yet he has robbed me. How did I rob you? I'm thinking he's talking about me. But if I go to Malachi 2, it tells you who that Malachi 3 was for.
Mm-hmm.
He said the priests, because they was robbing God by taking the stuff that the people was bringing to the temple for sacrifice. And for years, I thought I was going to hell because I robbed God of 10%. But if I didn't
we're going to have to talk about that one, Dr. Joy.
Hold on.
We're going to talk about that one.
Malachi 2. It's in Malachi 2. Start from
I'm about to get your number. We're about to go offline on that one.
The thing about it is, it's clearly on Malachi 2 what it says, and Malachi 3 it's a story. So that doesn't say don't pay tithe. That doesn't say, because I do teruma, which is actually my tithe to my priest. I do my 10%, which goes to my church, and I do my offering because the offerings are all variant and they're for different reasons. So I give all of that. We are the top givers part of our top givers in our organization. So giving is mandatory because I need God to continue to keep open for me. But if we want to read the story is very clear. I don't care if it's King James. I don't care if it's English. I don't care if we do the Jewish Bible. Malachi 2 rolls over to Malachi 3, but they was talking about, he said, your priests. He wasn't telling me. So now all them church people making me feel dumb and stupid that I'm cursed with a curse when it wasn't even talking to me. Absolutely not. And it's all come from not reading yourself. Oh, I got plenty more. Plenty more. Just like they taught us about Jezebel. Oh, she was a whore. No, she wasn't. She absolutely was not. Now, did she do good? No. But she wasn't what you made it believe. We believed in Holiness Church that if you wore red lipstick, you was a Jezebel.
That's my favorite color now.
Yep.
Girl, and you better pop them lips. That's it.
No, but it's true. We weren't allowed to wear makeup. We weren't allowed to wear earrings. You know, your dress had to be.
That looked secular. Nothing.
Nothing.
It looked secular.
No.
Because that was just a no-no.
Yeah.
I remember in church, Rem, that even back. I'm not even gonna tell my age, but back in the day, how everyone had all those keychains and you put a bunch of keychains on. I remember Rem and I, we collect keychains, but we would take some of the keychains off because again, they'll look at us like, However, the lady 3 rows back had a chain. You remember that? A chain, dancing with the chain in church.
They made us feel they put so much here.
They did.
It was so much.
And even when it comes down to sin, now I know this is gonna hit a lot of people. When it comes down to sin, we make it a moral thing. But nobody else does.
Yeah.
Every other religion, every other belief may use the word sin, but they don't always make it a moral defect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so why are they beating us up over it? We're the only denomination that will put somebody in hell, which ain't even open. Let's start there. And I can go a little bit further because I ain't gonna go there because y'all will be real mad because it ain't even real. But therefore, it was a construct preached. Where's that in the Bible? It's all about reading and understanding why these constructs was used to keep us mentally in hostage, mentally in bondage, and we repeated it. Every generation repeated it. And then this generation now, it's like, no, I don't believe that. And then we get offended.
Yeah.
No, we should understand why they don't believe it and why they don't want to come to our church, because I still believe the church is good. But why they don't want to come? Because we're still preaching to the same 55, 60, 70-year-olds that ain't moving nowhere.
Yeah.
But we ain't bringing in the new ones that can make change.
Yes.
They're coming because their grandma is coming. Unless they're getting something they're not getting, and us making them feel like less than is why they're not coming.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So no, we need to preach a whole totally different thing.
Heck, that was part of the reason I stopped going. To be honest, I ain't gonna lie to you, because I just felt, as I got older and started seeing the world outside of a small box, I'm like, hold on, you know, what are we really doing here? Why do I feel so bad, but I'm supposed to feel good? You know, why do I feel like I'm being judged all the time? Like, I just started seeing it from a whole different perspective, and I was like, I don't want that for myself. I don't have to have that for myself. I'll go where I feel that I'm comfortable wherever that is. And I walked along a mentor for a long time. He was my real estate mentor as well as a prophet. And I walked alongside of him for a very long time until he passed away. But nevertheless, he did not go to church every Sunday. But you know what he did, though? He walked the streets. I mean, my oldest is 24, but even the time that they spent with him, excuse me, my dog is a little crazy. They were like, Mom, it was kind of like walking with Jesus. Now that they've never said about a pastor, an apostle, a bishop. That's who they said that about. It was like walking with Jesus. And he made an impact in their lives, and it was never inside of a church group.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something real funny. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please.
No, I'm gonna tell you a real funny joke.
Go ahead.
Back in the young days when I was a musician, and I'm, because I'm 100% lesbian. Always been. It is what it is. But when I was at these churches playing, they would look at my friend who would be on the keyboard, and she was just a little bit more tomboyish. Now, I still have my hair and everything like that, and they would tell me, "Oh, don't get around her. She's gay." And I'd be like, "How do y'all know?" And they were like, "Oh, because just look at her. She looked like a boy. She just looked so dumb." But they didn't know I was a gay one. She wasn't. She had a whole man. And I said, just because I got on the skirt, just because I respect the house of the Lord, and I came in the skirt, and I had long hair, I never wore fingernail polish because that was against holiness. I ain't never wore. But I'm like, you telling me to stay because you perceive her because she acts like a little boy. I said, but I'm the gay one. I'm like, I'm big gay because I was dating one of their daughters. And I'm like, how? But when I got up and got that microphone and did the hymn in the morning and the church laid out, then all of a sudden, oh, you wasn't anointed, but am I still anointed? Not that you know I'm gay. Oh, it was a big
the
thing.
church will stone you.
But they fell
you,
out.
then stone you.
Right.
So, and again, that's not all.
Because that's totally not all of them.
That's, and again, coming up, that's, in our day, well, Pastor, you're around our age, so it's difficult to identify.
You're all over 40, yes. Okay, how about that? Okay.
Oh.
I just had a birthday, 44. I can tell mine.
Happy belated.
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
I was going to graduate like you. I got that deal actually this past Saturday behind my name. So yeah. So let me say this, and let me tell you this. I'm gonna say this with a smile on my face. I think it's really respectful when people can come together and have a conversation, even if every opinion is not agreed upon. Okay? Let me, especially with all that's going on in the world right now, let me publicly say that. Because one thing I would like to take that we all believe in him.
Mhm.
We have him, but we all
That's
believe in him. So that's the common goal. And because we're going public and people are watching, the biggest thing is they can see 4 individuals from each walk of life. However, some agree, some will not agree.
Yeah.
Obviously, I believe people perceive it how they want to. And that's fine. Now, me, I can say comfortably, and if my members are actually watching, they can honestly chat or they can tell it. In my line of work, I didn't have people that I didn't put behind bars came to church that following Sunday with no judgment. Working from just Dr. Joy, we talking about going back to maximum security prison. In the nitty gritty, with some people who have made some very bad decisions in life. And you're absolutely right. Now, I gotta come a little bit of a this. If you showing me that you don't care about beating up a lot of people, then I'm going to call you. I'm probably going to judge you as a very mean person because your actions. And open rebuke is better than secret love. But what do I want you to see? I never stop talking to you because I just don't necessarily agree with your decision making. Because first of all, that's not my place to convict you. We thought about judging. Well, how do we honor the judge, the actual job? How do we make that relatable? What I'm trying to say is this. I hear you, Dr. Joy. Certain things, yeah, we'll have to talk offline about because
I love a good conversation.
I disagree with that, but I don't want to get so not what the church is not doing. Right. You know, I hear you.
That's spiritual warfare, though.
That to me, trust me, I hear you more than you know. That's why I say I think if we were to talk offline, you'll get to receive me a little bit better. Because now if we offline, it's totally no holds barred. We can go pow, 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 without, you know, on here. People have their different perspective of life and how they was raised and they was taught. I can't go against what you was taught, even if I disagree with it. The only thing I will say is, what would be the overall solution to deal with spiritual warfare? Number 1, study to show thyself approved. Number 2, believe that this man, our Lord, I say however we want to call him, Yahshua, Yahweh, all the cute names that everybody has for him. And then for 3, I need to get around some like-minded folks that can help me. I can't be around no weak-minded folks if I'm dealing with some issues. I need some folks that's going to be able to names. You started quoting some stuff, and if I had somebody that was 12 years old on here trying to hear spiritual warfare, they wouldn't know nothing what we was talking about. They wouldn't know nothing because you come from a holiness background. They come from a Baptist background. So what do we leave on this podcast to give the people that are listening? And mine will be spiritual warfare on all levels is real. And you're right, Dr. Joy, because guess what? In the prison industry, guess what? It's supposed to be rehabilitation. So we have AA classes, Alcohol Anonymous classes, et cetera, et cetera. Other words, yes, you can go to church. But I also need you to understand the other level of your issues too. Because you can pray. But if you don't believe what you're praying and you go out there, then I think you're just wasting your time. If you're dealing with alcohol, then the 12 steps, you need to understand how that's affecting you. Watch this, your kidney, your thinking. You need to get all of that. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Are you willing to fight? Or are you just willing to let down and let it take its course? Let's go with another thing. A lot of people will say, and I believe I can come because of your preference. Oh, she can't. I'm going to be bold to say I think it's no different than the lie that's in the pulpit. The person that is hiding the wrong. But here's where we get uncomfortable. Some people will say wrong is wrong, but to me, to openly be a certain way, I think that's when it becomes very, very interesting. Because now, when you tell me about this and who God is, I'm going to come back to you. Well, if he can do all of this, why couldn't he do this for you? Why couldn't he do this for you? Why couldn't he change that particular perspective? Hear what I'm saying, Dr. Joy? Wrong is wrong. Living a different lifestyle is a different lifestyle. Nobody from openly or secretly is wrong. But for me to boldly come and say anything outside what I'm living, how do I get that to the people? And how are they supposed to grasp that? If my life is supposed to be a testament. Go ahead. I know you're ready for me. Go ahead.
All right. So this is the thing we do. We make our life the measuring rod, and that's not what we're supposed to do. If we are spreading Jesus, if we're spreading God, the first thing it says is God is love. That is what we lead with. So I can't tell you how to construct your life because of my life. What I choose to do with my life, if I bust it open, let me bust it open. That's my life.
Right.
My job is to love you, right? Then going back to what you said in the beginning, as you brought out good points, you gave out tools on how to participate in the spiritual warfare. But what we need to do is granularize it. Because if I tell a person to study to show themselves approved, I got to give them the right tools to study. That's
Right.
one. And the Bible is not the only tool. Because it's not even the clear cut. Because if the truth be made known, Jesus didn't speak Greek, he didn't speak Hebrew, he didn't speak English, he spoke Aramaic. So then you have to get the right translation, which we know transliteration always cuts down the meaning of everything. So you have to send them and give them the correct things. So yeah, it may be the Bible is a starting point, but then maybe you need to go to Josephus and get the historical point that he gives a different perspective than Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So you have to be able to give them the tools and not just give them a Bible, because that does not make sense. We're teaching them the way we were taught versus saying, this is what I've learned. This is what works for me. Now, what works for you is different. Why? Because our guts are built different. You make it take steak, I make it only take chicken, but that doesn't mean both of us can't eat. So we have to be able to give them what is palatable for them and then allow them to grow. Just like my great grandma used to tell me, you can't clean a fish in water. You get them out, and you get them into the point where there's no judgment. If you come in and I'm gonna hit a good point on this one. Transgender sisters and brothers. Just because you may not agree with the way they decided to change and live their life doesn't make them any less open to God than anybody else. So if we're telling them, well, you can come in here and I'm just using an example, I'm not saying nobody did it, but you can't do this, you just need to sit there. You didn't show them the love of God, because he didn't let them just sit there. He let them come up. He let them touch him. He let them be around them. And and I'm only dealing with the Black church, we put everybody here because what it doesn't look like the way we were taught to interpret the Bible. No, open up your eyes and see the interpretation is very vast. And if you as a Christian, you as a Muslim, you as whatever can come together and parallel the not just the differences of each story, but what the similarities are, you will all see we come out with the same thing. But what we do is, if I'm going to teach you, I'm not going to teach you the holiness way. I'm not going to teach you the Baptist way. I'm going to teach you the way according to what it says, and we're going to start with love.
Okay.
All right. Then after we break down how can they train, how can they study to show themselves approved, then we can, when we see where they're strengths are. Then we can equip them with what job they can do, because everybody can't do the same thing. So let's equip them. You know what? I think you're good at this. Let me put you here, because one thing we know with Maslow hierarchy of needs, people need to feel to belong. So if I'm giving you a job, I didn't say a title because I know how y'all church people are about those. But if I give you a job to do to make you feel wanted, to make you feel valued, to make you feel seen, that person may be willing to change more, because I don't, and and maybe some people may think I'm a hypocrite for this. I don't think everybody's gay. Some people may be just living it because that's what they feel. Okay, that's fine. You got the ability to change. There's some transgender people that's saying, I feel that, I made a mistake in changing my body. I want to go back. But then let's go back. I support whichever way you want to walk down this road. But it needs to be for you and not what I gave you for it to be like. You're not going to dress like me. You're not going to look like me. But what I can do is tell you what it feels to live life peacefully, and how I got love, and how I got free. And if you want to try it, I'll show it to you. But if you don't want it, that's fine. That ain't gonna stop me from loving you, because my job is to love you. My job is not to build a bear. That's not my job. And I think when we institute that and make church more of a learning center and teaching Jesus the Christ, because if we really want to be true about it, Christ is the teacher, the Messiah. That's the one who he's supposed to came to teach us, and that's what we supposed to do. Not be their judge and jury and say, and I'm not saying you do this, so please don't take this as what you do. Yeah, but this is what we're not doing for people, is not giving them the tools to be successful. We're telling them, oh, feet. Teach me how to change my vocabulary. Teach me to see myself as the way God sees me. And he don't see me in the wrong. So if we do that, don't you think we can, that's the first line of defense for spiritual warfare? Because then everybody won't be thinking it's a demon, spiritual, and just rip it apart when all of it is not bad. Some people really just need to feel love and purpose. But that is spiritual. Warfare is what we make, because we make everybody fight. We sit there and tell them the ways of a transgressor is hard. It is, because I transgress against God's love. So my way is hard. But we will use that scripture against somebody. This is better than sacrifice. Read the whole damn story. They have nothing to do with the way we make it used. So again, let's teach them to understand what's spiritual, understand what true warfare is, but we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principality. What is a principality? I'm glad you asked. Then we can take them down those levels and understand they'll be more amped to be more powerful than what we give them credit to be. That's my perspective.
So this needs to be like several parts, because we have already reached an hour, over an hour.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So let's all do a closing, and we'll start with Pastor to close. And we can resume another day.
Again, I thank everybody. Hopefully the people that's online. What I want you to take from tonight, okay, but what I want, the biggest thing, I'm sorry, y'all, I have to go here, that we can come together and have a discussion. Nobody's in their feelings. This is not pride talking, this is the truth. And for just entertainment purposes, in my line of work, you can't wear your feelings on your shoulder. I want to look at it like a buffet. You take what you feel that it will apply to you. I hope that's what everybody got from tonight. That's the biggest thing. Spiritual warfare is serious. I hope some tools tonight will say it to make you look at your life and process. And if you need some more talking, Marilyn Monroe can hook you up with me. I believe she can do it with everybody else. I'm not trying to volunteer everybody else's time, but I would like to believe that we are here to help because it makes no sense for us to talk. We're confident in what it is that we believe. You know, we've been doing this, but it means nothing if we're not sharing it and trying to help somebody to get up. Because if we're going to be disciples, make to be a part, and I hope it was something that was said.
Absolutely.
It was great. So, Rim, did you have something to?
No, I was just giving a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Right
Awesome.
back to him. Yeah.
So, God,
No, I think tonight's discussion was really good. You know, it was actually really great, and I think a lot of things that a lot of people can relate to, especially what I call is church hurt, and I think a lot of us that have dealt with church hurt than what we've been taught on the surface. So thank you for the perspective. Everyone's perspective. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that, you know, someone has gotten something out of tonight's discussion and it's helped them just a little bit at least.
yes.
And that's it.
And to definitely determine what, again, like Dr. Joy said, warfare is if you want to participate in wanting to, some things it's just not war. It's just not. And
Right.
if it is war, sometimes it's just not your battle. So with that said, God loves you. And so
Yes, he does.
So you have a good night. I really appreciate it. It was all alignment that all of us got together tonight. And we really, really appreciate because everyone, yes, it's a blessing. So thank you all
Thank you so
And
much.
of course, it'll be a part
Thank
2
you.
or some other conversations that we can come up with. For Culture Club, you have a good night. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night, night. What is this? How do you get off here?
Well,
Thank you.
that's all right.
Tessa.
How you turn this thing off?
Really appreciate you. Did it click out?